Don't tell your secrets to anyone. um, so, did you know that if you verbalize your intentions to do something, to take action, to do something great, or do something new, or try something new, you inherently become less likely to actually achieve what it is that you are setting out to do? So, how did I find out about this? I saw a quote, or found a quote in the book from the author Derek Sivers, and it said something like, "You have to understand that the brain mistakes talking for action." And at first thought, it was a bit confusing. I didn't really understand exactly what that meant. Like, surely your brain must be able to sort of differentiate between you just talking about something and you actually doing something. But in certain circumstances, this doesn't seem to be the case. So I went to do a bit more digging, and it transpires around about 2009. I think it was June 2009. Derek Sivers wrote a blog post, a short article, where he goes in to explain basically what happens and what he means by this whole thing of the brain mistaking talking for action. And what happens is, at a high level, is when you decide to take action or do something or try something new, and you then go and announce it to the world or to your family or to your best friends or on social media, you get a little dopamine hit from that, and your brain gets this satisfaction as if you've already accomplished something, even though you've done nothing. All you've done is you've thought about doing something, and you've announced to the world that you're going to supposedly achieve something. And as a result of that, you now automatically become less motivated to actually go ahead and complete the task that you set out to do. Weird, right? So I thought, no, that's bullshit, and most people would think, yeah, okay, that's definitely bullshit. But it transpires that this is a, let's call it a problem, an issue that's been studied now for nearly 100 years. One of the studies that Sivers mentions is by a researcher named Mahler back in 1933, where they actually monitor brain activity and levels of dopamine, etc., in the brain when someone just talks about doing something and someone who obviously thinks up doing something but doesn't talk about it. And basically, and then obviously people who set out to do a task achieve the task, and then the dopamine that comes from that, from the sort of success of completion. And basically, yeah, the levels of hormones in the brains was the same if you just speak about doing something as it was when you physically achieve something. So what the brain's thinking is, when you're going out there running your mouth about something you want to try or do, a new task, your brain quite literally thinks that you've already achieved it, and any other efforts you then put into accomplishing this task to complete what it is that you set out to do, it's not going to give you the same satisfaction. It's basically not going to release the same amount of dopamine. You're just not going to feel as good about it compared to thinking of doing something, keeping it to yourself, and just doing it. Then at the end, you get the greatest satisfaction from it. So yeah, it's very interesting to say the least. And yeah, so some of the studies, like I said, it's been studied for nearly 100 years now. It's unreal. Definitely something worth looking into a bit more. But yeah, what it all comes down to is, like I said at the beginning, don't tell anyone your secrets, as in, don't tell anyone what you're planning to do, because chances are you're probably not going to do them.